Here we go. All right, we're playing.
We are playing.
Hello, and welcome to Rotten Commentatoes, episode
6.
Thor Ragnarok. I'm your host, Keegan Robertson, joined as always by my co-host, Darren Mortimer.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, that's where you say hello.
That's when I say hello.
This movie was fucking amazing. Spoiler alert. If you only need to get 30 seconds into this thing, you're like, I was wondering if I should go see this fucking movie. Go now. Turn off the podcast. Go watch it. Even if this is 4 years later and you own this movie, go watch it right now. Turn us off and go watch it, and then come back. We'll wait.
We'll be here.
Should we wait 2 hours till they?
I think it's 2 hours and 10 minutes, but yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay. How was your day?
It was pretty good. I had a nice bacon and cheese sandwich and some chicken soup.
That sounds like an old person's day.
Hey, you know what? That was a small portion of my day.
Hey, all right. If that was the highlight that you first wanted to bring to my attention, I don't want to hear the rest. So anyway, we're dropped in. We get through 40 seconds of logos, and we see Thor of Thor fame hung up in this cage, and he's talking to a skeleton, basically giving us the rundown of where he's been for the last little bit. So he's looking for Infinity Stones. Then now he has to stop Ragnarok. There's a big flamey dude. He gets dropped out of this cage down on a chain, and the big flamey dude doing the classic villain, like, I'm going to start Ragnarok, and like, you're pretty much fucked, Thor. And Thor's all like, hey, Syphilis, I think, because the guy's name starts with an S or whatever. He's like, hey, how about I just whoop your fucking ass? And I didn't know how this movie would start, because I kind of knew the plot synopsis. I've read little bits of Planet Hulk and some of the Thor the Unworthy series, which is kind of what this is based off of. And I was like, I wonder how they're going to break this down. And I fucking knew this was going to be an amazing movie. As soon as he says basically that he's going to kick the big demon red guy's ass, they start in with Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song.
So good.
And it's so perfectly cued. Like, Thor is fighting off 500 guys, just shooting lightning everywhere, being a complete fucking badass. But along with this song that's about Valhalla and Viking Norse mythology, it was just, I had fucking goosebumps, man. And I don't get that shit for movies.
No, it was a really, really well done scene. It was hilarious too. I like the joke about his crown. It's like, oh, I thought it was a giant eyebrow. No, it's a crown.
Yeah, and he's spinning on the chain the whole time they're talking. Taika Waititi directed this, and he kind of cut his teeth on Hunt for the Wilder People and What We Do in the Shadows, which is two New Zealand comedies that he was involved in. And just
What We Do in the Shadows, so good.
Yeah, and it was like a cast of 9 people. The guy that much funny in a movie where the budget was probably like $100,000 or something ridiculous. Like, it could have been done for that. It's really cool. And I think that he taking his grounding and like the amount of New Zealander actors, I don't know what they call themselves.
Kiwis.
The amount of Kiwis in this movie is staggering when you think about it. And they're just thrown in there like it's normal. Like the giant rock guy.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Korg, I think his name was.
Korg.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but he's a Kiwi.
As long as the foundation's good, you should be fine. You'll be able to rebuild it. It'll be a haven for all aliens and all species.
Oh, no, that foundation's gone.
That foundation's gone. So good.
Yeah, so I think what Taika does, I hope I'm saying that right, is that he brings a lot of heart to the characters. So when they gave him the movie, I think they got the best of both worlds, because he was able to handle the amount of cash being thrown at him and the caliber of actors being thrown at him.
Yeah.
And he really made the humor foremost. Like, when we walked out of the theater, you turned and said to me, like, that was a comedy movie before it was a superhero movie.
Yeah. Comedy first, comic book second, for sure. And it's like, it's funny right off the bat.
And it doesn't fucking stop, man. Like, just the amount of laughs that you get in this movie are so perfect.
And a lot of action movies and superhero movies, their attempt at humor is so bad and so cheesy, and it usually is a disservice to the rest of the film. They usually spoil the atmosphere that they've worked so hard to build. But this movie is funny throughout pretty much the entire thing, and it's also good humor. It's good comedy. It's not bad, cheesy one-liner kind of deal that you get in a lot of other films. Like Transformers 2, for example, is a good example of just terrible attempt at jokes.
Yes. That the fellow that's got the conspiracy theories, I can't remember his name. You know, they got the black hair and he's got like an accent.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that guy fucking has ruined every Transformers movie he's been in since. He's a good actor too. They make him be super like, hey, cram a shitload of jokes into everything that you say.
Thank Michael Bay for that one.
Michael Bay's a cocksucker. Anyway, so Thor gets back from preventing Ragnarok, which is a huge fucking deal, by the way, in Norse mythology. It's like the end of the world. It's the apocalypse. So Thor stopped Ragnarok in the first 5 seconds of the movie entitled Thor Ragnarok. Just nonchalantly.
I love that like subversion of expectation.
Yeah. And he goes back to Asgard, and Loki is posing as the dad, which we already know from the second movie. But we come back, and he's putting on plays about Loki's grand sacrifice, and Sam Neill is acting in them. That Sam Neill is the guy from Jurassic Park. Like he's got Matt Damon is playing Loki. It's so lavish and
so
bullshit.
good. I love the Matt Damon cameo in that.
It would look so bad in that pale skin and black hair as Loki.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I love that. And then Sam Neill as well. And Odin is not at all acting like Odin. He's acting so pompous and full of himself, eating grapes with all these women around him while he watches this bullshit play.
Yeah. And Thor starts pacing around like a fucking jungle cat, being like, "Oh yeah, what are you doing, man?" He's like flexing and walking up close to him. He starts spinning the hammer and shit, and you know that he knows that it's Loki, and he basically threatens to kill him. And Loki's like gives it up. He stops pretending to be Odin.
Good old Loki, god of tricks and mischief.
Yeah. The amount of jokes, like we just went through like 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
The amount of shit going on. You have cameos by Matt Damon. Like it's humor on humor on humor on humor. Anthony Hopkins pretending not to be Odin. Anthony Hopkins pretending to be Loki, pretending to be himself. On top of the fucking cameos in the stupid goddamn play.
And that whole scene with the dragon head and Scourge trying to impress the girls.
Yeah, everything is so fucking funny constantly, but at the same time, like it's badass. So you get to see badass action scenes. Thor fucking destroys like 500 people. He kills a dragon, but the whole time you're like laughing. It was a really weird take on it, but I thought it was amazing. Like I really hope that they keep Waititi on for future films. I was so excited.
Oh yeah, and then definitely. I think they will. I think if they don't, that's a huge mistake.
So Thor goes on to he's like, "All right, Loki, well we got to go get Dad, you dick." So they go to New York and he's not there, and they see Doctor Strange, and there's a Sherlock Holmes reference, but that's about it in the movie. When they actually tagged this in 2016, they said that Doctor Strange was going to be like a big factor in the whole thing, but I guess he just got just knocked out of it.
Yeah.
But so they go find out that Odin's in Norway, and they go to see him, and Odin's like, "Yeah, I'm dying, and the goddess of death is coming, and you're all pretty much screwed. Sorry, I gotta leave. Bye."
See ya, bye. And disintegrates into some glowing embers. Good luck, guys. You're on your own. See you later.
Yeah, and that was a big tonal shift too. I found this movie was really strange in like its scene to scene changes. It had a lot of very sudden, like they have dissolves and shifts and stuff to bring you to the next scene in the movie, right? These ones felt the pacing felt kind of weird because you would go from like such funny things to a serious moment and then back to funny, and you'd be following different characters throughout the story. but at the same time, like it didn't piss me off or anything. It was just I feel like I saw a very different way to make a film in this movie.
Oh,
It
yeah.
fucking rocked.
Yeah, I think he's pulling off something pretty interesting with those tonal shifts because he jumps from comedy to seriousness in like a blink.
Yeah.
And then goes right back to comedy again. And it works. It doesn't.
I think because everybody sells it
pays
so
off.
well. Like, everybody was on the ball. All right, we need you to be able to murder 100 people as the goddess of death, but also like Thor's going to sling you a one-liner and you're going to eat it up, okay? So Hela comes into the picture. It's Kate Blanchett. Is that?
Yeah.
She was looking good in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It was. I didn't like how much I liked the whole crown thing, etc. Something about like how scary and strong she was. It was just like, wow.
Yeah. Well, the way she just destroys Thor's hammer, you immediately realize that you're fucking with some serious shit here.
Yeah, because Thor's hammer, like he puts it on the dragons. He drops it on the dragon in the first fight scene, and like it fucks up a 100,000-pound space dragon, and then Hela just grabs it, and
the dragon can't stand up because it's weighing his head down.
Yeah, Hela just busts it open for a joke
with one hand,
and Loki tells so. The way that Asgardians get around is they have like a guy who watches out from Asgard and kind of teleports them up, like Beam Me Up Scotty style. And Loki's a little idiot, and he's like, "Oh shit! Like, she broke Thor's hammer. I'll get the fuck out of here. Take us home." And so they get ported up, and that's how she gets to Asgard. Is she follows their trail there, and she kind of punches them both out of the little teleporter thing,
knocks them out of the like slipstream.
Yeah. And this is where we get into the really cool part of the film, and that's like the junk world.
Junk Planet. It's cyberpunk Marvel. That's what it is. It's Marvel. It's fantasy cyberpunk. It's great. I love it.
Oh, and that's talking about the tonal shifts, the settings that they have to pull off. You take Thor and you take the Norse mythology. And you got the hammers and the armor and all that bullshit, and then they got a little bit of space age stuff.
That's gods. Yeah,
and you take gods, and then you put these ancient gods in space in like a sci-fi movie. All of a sudden, it's like they made a fucking ice cream soup out of this goddamn movie. Like there's so many tonal and color shifts, but it all works. I don't know how, but this movie just is fucking wicked in the fact that they pulled it off, and I wish I was smart enough to quantify.
Oh yeah, it's a total feat for Waititi here.
Because you could easily this could easily have been the next Waterworld or what's that, Jupiter Ascending? Like we've seen movies with big budgets like this that work on something like this and just completely fuck it up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but this is just gold. I think I might go see this again.
Yeah, no, when you first suggested, let's go see Thor, I hadn't seen any of the trailers. I liked the original Thor, but I didn't like it enough that I went and saw the second one.
Yeah, he was kind of a dick in his own movie. Like, which he's supposed to be, but like to get your own movie, you don't want to be like the arrogant prick of your movie.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think they've really made him more likable through the character development he's been given through the other movies. Like he always gets he always gets that nice revelation where he's like, yeah, you know what? Like I'm not as strong as I thought I was. I'm not as smart as I thought I was. I'm, I gotta fight for everybody and not just like my big muscles.
Mm-hmm. I think the first one also had some good comedy, subverting what he shows up at Earth and he doesn't realize what Earth is, and that Earth has no idea that Asgard is a thing and that Thor is a thing, and just the way he goes about like assuming everything. There was some good comedy in it,
like him throwing anything throwing the mugs on the ground. There's some good ones in there. It's not anything as good as this movie though.
Oh no, not even close. And I'm really glad that you convinced me to go out and watch it, because if I hadn't, I probably wouldn't have ever watched it, or if at least not for like a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Another interesting thing about this movie is that I don't think that you needed to see Maybe the first one, but you certainly didn't need to see the last movie to understand where this movie is headed.
And I think the only thing is the whole Loki bit that you're talking about, because I hadn't seen Dark World, so I had no idea that Loki was posing as Odin. I was like, why? I was just thinking, why is Odin being such a dick? What's going on here? Something's off.
But there's still some good, like, you still get the reveal for it, right? So it's like, it doesn't keep, if you didn't see the other one, you still understand what he's doing. It's like, it's the god of tricks, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're on this junk planet because Hela kicks them into junk world, and Thor gets picked up by a Valkyrie. I can't remember her goddamn name.
She's just the Valkyrie.
Okay, the Valkyrie lady, the last Valkyrie, and she sends Thor to the Grandmaster because the Grandmaster is all about this fighting pit that he runs in the cities. So people will like search this planet's like a big garbage dump. There's a bunch of wormholes that just shoot garbage down at the city. So like people that are lost and stuff out in space get tossed to this planet, and the people there kind of comb through it like professional garbage men. And somebody gets Thor, this Valkyrie, and brings her to Jeff Goldblum, who I think Jeff Goldblum's made a career of the last 25 years of just playing Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, he's full Goldblum in this role.
Yeah, he definitely does not give a fuck. Like, he's very prissy, very nonchalant, and so Goldblum.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
He's got this stick that melts people. That's one of the first things he does when he sees Thor. He's like, he melts the guy. He's like, ew, I'm getting it on my shoe. Oh.
So Goldblum, and he just calls it the melting stick too.
Yeah, I don't need the melting
later in the film. Right, I don't need the. Why are you giving me the melting stick? This is not a capital crime.
And Loki's already been there for 3 weeks or some shit because time works differently. And Thor's like, "Hey, get me out of here, man! Talk to this guy." Like, Loki's like, "Nah, dude. See ya. Sorry."
Yeah, Loki's already wormed his way in.
Yeah, just hanging out. He's not a prisoner or anything. Just having a drink. So obviously Thor's gonna be in the gladiator arena because we know, guys, the Hulk's in this movie.
See, I had no idea.
You didn't see? How did you not see any trailer?
I didn't watch any trailers for this movie. I didn't see a single trailer, which ultimately just added to the enjoyability for me because everything was a great surprise.
I wanted the next this progression of Marvel movies I've been so excited for because they're going towards the best stories in the out of these comic books, like Planet Hulk and Thor the Unworthy and stuff. They're getting into really interesting territory, like not shit that's been done over and over and over again. You know, like we have fucking 3 different Spider-Mans, 3 different Spider-Men. We've got like 8 movies in the last 10 or 12 years or something like that. And it's always running over
quite a few. We had Sam Raimi's trilogy. Yeah,
and it's always redoing the Uncle Ben. It's always redoing the fucking Green Goblin. Like, I don't give a fuck about the Green Goblin anymore, dude. I had one trilogy. I want to move on to something else. I want it to be interesting in some other way. Like, you can't just make the same story for these heroes again. And what I was really excited for this one is that they're going to be facing Thanos, which is a group of 30 heroes at least going against this guy, and that we've never seen before. It's a completely new concept. Nobody's ever done the amount of movies that these guys have done to get here. Like, it's going to be a kind of event of maybe not our lifetime, but of this age group. They'll remember this as a thing that they lived through. They'll be like, yeah, man, like they made like 30 fucking movies with the same actors. It was really crazy, and I think it might become a little bit more normalized, but still really interesting.
Yeah, they're pumping them out like crazy.
But they're also really good. Like, guys like Taika Waititi are getting shots at it. They're giving really interesting directors the reins to these movies because they want them to be they want the visuals to be fantastic. They want the writing to be fantastic. They want it to be like an all ages thing. So it's like the Disney heyday when they were pumping out the Lion King and shit. I think Marvel is them right now for for what people want to see.
And
with
that's
the whole family.
It's perfect because Disney owns Marvel Studios.
Yeah. Disney's just the fucking rich like uncle that comes in. It's like, yeah,
Disney's killing it.
That's a funny thing you did there, Marvel. Do you mind if I buy that everything you got? Cool. Yeah, that's fine.
Here's a few $1 billion.
Pop a Disney logo on that shit, buddy.
Oh, Lucasfilms will take that too. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Every good movie ever. It's ours now. We made it. But I hope they don't shit. I think they're gonna shit on the Star Wars franchise, though.
You think so?
I don't know. I don't like what they're doing.
I've been enjoying them.
I don't like what they're doing.
Rogue One was great.
Jedi stuff. Like they're getting rid of Jedis, and Rogue One was pretty good. It was pretty good.
You don't like the idea that they're trying to get rid of Jedis?
I don't think that. I don't think they know what they're doing. I think they're just...
Yeah, but it ultimately goes back to the prophecy from the original trilogy that Luke would bring balance to the Force. And so I think that's his way of bringing balance to the Force, because as long as there's people being trained to be Jedis, you're going to have people turning to the dark side and being the Sith. So
yeah, but
it's that yin yang. You can't have one without the opposite. So if you get rid of the Jedis, you're also getting rid of the Sith. I think that's where
the
Last Jedi is coming from. That's my prediction. That's the way I'm looking at it.
People are going to be bad no matter what. Those Force shit.
Yeah, they're going to be bad, but they're not going to be bad with the powers of fucking Jedi.
Luke's overall, like, what does a Jedi do that's so crazy anyway? Who gives a fuck? I'd rather be fighting Sith than just be eating tasteless porridge. Like, that's what Luke's whole thing is like, all right,
tasteless porridge.
We're not gonna do anything.
He goes to Tashi Station. All right, he goes to Tashi Station, pick up the odd power converter.
Yeah, if we do nothing, then the Sith can't do anything because the Force is balanced. So as long as we stay here eating this tasteless porridge, they have to do the same thing. That's the fucking stupidest. Like, that's not.
There's still adventure to be had in the galaxy. You can be a smuggler. You can be a bounty hunter. You can.
Yeah. So eventually, those guys will be doing.
But there's not going to be people blowing up planets.
Okay, the fucking Sith did not invent the Death Star, dum dum.
No, but you can blow up planets with the Force. You can blow up stars with the Force.
Since when?
Since when? Darth Revan, motherfucker. That's since when? Old Republic shit.
Yeah, that stuff's not even canon anymore, dude.
But the Force is still canon.
Yeah, but it's not blowing up planets in the movies, so suck it.
Okay, in A New Hope, Darth Vader makes a comment about the power of the Death Star is nothing in comparison to the power of the Force.
Fuck.
So Darth blowing up a planet with a
Darth Vader's a deluded old
nothing. No way, because Darth Vader knows his shit, man.
Fuck all. Look at his stupid suit. He looks like a big garbage can.
Stupid suit. Well, he also kind of looks like a robot Nazi with that helmet.
No, I think that's what they're going for sure.
Oh, totally, definitely.
Anyway, this is not the podcast about.
This is Thor Ragnarok / the Star Wars podcast.
I guess so. Fuck, I don't want to be those guys, dude. Not everything has to go back to Star Wars. We gotta not do that ever again. I hate those guys.
It was relevant. We were talking about Marvel or Disney buying up all the good stuff, so it was relevant.
So. All right, so we're now at the point of the movie where Thor and spoiler alert, the Hulk are now in a battle to the death. And you get that beautiful moment from the trailer where he's like, "I know him. He's a friend from work."
See, I'm glad I didn't watch the trailer because that was so funny. That was the first time I'm hearing that, and it's hilarious.
But that's why this movie's gonna make like $600 million is because people need to see that the Hulk and Thor are gonna fight.
Yeah, he's a friend from work. I love that, and I love his helmet, the throwback to the comic book Thor.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a throwback to the Thor's helmet. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because
Thor got the wings.
Thor has the little wings on the side. Yeah.
The whole Hulk storyline in this movie was pretty awesome, but also a little bit like left unexplained. So I wonder if that's going to come in through the next big Marvel movie that the Hulk, why he's doing this or whatever.
Like, yeah, how the fuck he got there?
Yeah, well, we know how he got there. You didn't see Age of Ultron. See, you have such a fucked up background for these films. Like,
yeah,
you haven't seen Avengers 2. You haven't seen the second Thor. You haven't seen Doctor Strange or Ant-Man. I think
I have not.
you've seen none of the Captain Americas.
No, and that's something I really need to watch the Captain
So
America
you have
movies.
no idea.
The
You
first
have
one,
no idea what
World
the
War
fuck
II
is going on
movies,
at
World
all.
War II movies. I know it is hilarious, and that's all I need to know.
Wait, have you seen the Guardians of the Galaxy?
No comment.
Holy fuck! You make me sad.
I haven't been watching the Marvel
You're
movies, man. I've
probably
been
rewatching The Office or something instead of watching them. Like, stop watching reruns. You know, everybody does a certain amount of rerun watching in a year. Just next time you're gonna watch a rerun, watch something new for fuck's sakes.
The only shows I watch reruns of is Rick and Morty. That's the only show, and I've watched all of Breaking Bad twice. Every other TV show I watch is always new.
Well, start watching the Marvel shit.
No, this movie has actually convinced me to go back and check out definitely Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers 2. Have you seen Homecoming? Is that good?
Yeah, it was really good.
Okay,
They're getting
also
better, man. I
just
think
a
every movie that they make, they're getting better. Like,
I don't know why I never saw Avengers 2 because I really liked the first one.
Avengers 2, I would say, has been the worst one so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're not selling it. You're not doing a good job of selling me on it.
It's not like a terrible movie, but of all the other movies that we just mentioned, I would say that's the weakest one of the bunch.
Okay. And you were saying Doctor Strange was really good too?
Specifically for the visuals, it's just fucking gorgeous.
Maybe I will watch that tonight, seeing as though it's on Netflix.
All right, so Thor is... We are just not talking about this movie anymore. Thor is unworthy. So he doesn't have his hammer, and he's still pretty good at fighting, but like his morale is low, and he's fighting the fucking Hulk. And I mean, anybody fighting the Hulk would be pretty like outgunned. It'd be like fighting the Rock in real life, but the Rock wants to kill you.
Or George St. Pierre.
That's so topical. Listen, George St. Pierre is nothing like the Hulk. George St. Pierre would just put you in a little arm bar.
He would beat the shit out of us.
No,
just as easy as Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
He's a wrestler. You just put you in a wrist hold and let go. George St. Pierre is...
He's a boxer too, though, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he's a boxer.
Yeah, but he doesn't win from boxing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's what I never liked watching him. That thing where he dominated like 6 fights in a row in the UFC. Like, oh, sweet. George is going to get up, put the guy in guard, and just sit there till the end of the match. When he fought Michael Bisping, and he kept trying to get him to tap with the armbar, and Bisping was just letting his fucking arm like pretty much snap. Just wouldn't tap. Some
of those are savage, man.
I think he was like double jointed.
Choice but to tap out.
I think he was double jointed the elbow because like a regular human being, if their elbow had got to that like George couldn't pull it down anymore. He was literally like the fucking thing should have broke, but he just had too much.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, back to this movie.
Welcome to Ron Commentatoes episode 7, the attention deficit disorder episode, where we talk about UFC and wrestling and Marvel, Thor, Star Wars.
You're making it worse right now.
That Donald Trump, man, he's
Jesus Christ. Okay, so he gets punched in the face by the Hulk, and it like unlocks. He sees Odin for a second. He sees a couple flashes of Odin, and then he gets the power of the God of Thunder back. So his eyes are all like he goes Super Saiyan basically, and then he starts kicking the crap out of Thor all over the place.
Without the hair, because they gave him a haircut, which is really strange seeing Thor without his hair.
I think he looks better. He looks cool.
Yeah, but he looks less Viking though.
Yeah, but he's still like super badass. Yeah, I can believe that he looks like he reminds me of Russell Crowe in Gladiator. I think that's why I liked it so much. I was like, yeah, Russell Crowe.
Oh, okay. I see where they went with that. I love who gave him the haircut too. Stanley cameo, giving him the haircut. I don't know about
the Stanley cameos anymore. He seems so fucking stoked. Like just to bug people in the theater. Like, hey, I'm still here. I'm still alive. Like,
I'm still alive, as geriatric as I am.
But he's not trying to blend it at all.
the meta of the joke though, because it's the guy who created the comic cutting his hair because he's like, haha, I can do whatever I want. I made you. I'm gonna cut your hair for this one.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that they've got him so front and fucking center. Like, it's not like a little cameo where he's even trying to blend in at all. Like, he just fucking grabs the camera jackass style. Hey, look, I'm Stan Lee. Hey, whoa, I'm old.
They might as well just like have the dialogue there. It's me again, Stan Lee.
And now I'm the barber. I'm so
Holy
senile.
shit. Which one is this again? Is this the Spider-Man person?
The Spider Person. Hello. It's me, Stan Lee.
This is Thor, the god of spiders.
My spidey sense is tingling. Or I pissed myself. Dude, we have not got past we're 30 minutes ahead in the movie and we have not got past the fight. Thor gets knocked out by the little... They have like this taser thing connected to his neck because obviously he would have kicked the shit out of everybody if he didn't have a taser thing.
Yeah, he almost beats the Hulk in the fight, and then Goldblum just intervenes like a
which
douche.
is straight up badass because I don't think we get to see Thor like flex his fighting prowess to the best of his abilities like in the other movies. I think this is the one where you kind of get to see he can go toe to toe with the Hulk, and the Hulk's borderline like the strongest guy in all the movies so far. He would kick the shit out of anybody.
Yeah, he is the strongest Avenger, as we find out later in the film.
But yeah, so him almost going toe to toe.
I love the Hulk. I love the Hulk jokes that he's like cracking. The Hulk jokes. Tiny arms. You have tiny arms. Little Avenger.
Yeah, his dialogue was pretty awesome. Or like when he's like, "We call you the stupid Avenger. The Earth does hate you," and the Hulk just like sulks. So what happens is that as you guys know, because you watched the movie, is that Thor wakes up in the Hulk's like gladiator chambers. So he's got like this nice sealed in room. He's got like a little spa and fake rock and shit in there. He's like having a little sauna.
He's got his little VIP room.
Like a big jaw, like a 20-foot jaw that he's just using as like a bedpost. And
we haven't really talked much about the Valkyrie character.
I mean, we can go for it. I liked her the least because it took so long to come around, but they did an okay job.
I wasn't talking about her character. She's quite something to look at as far as I'm concerned.
Wow, you are so chivalrous. Quite something to look at.
Chivalry's dead.
Hot.
Chivalry's
Hottie
dead.
with a body. She's a cutie with a booty.
She's a hottie with a body.
Good for you for not being racist, Darren. All races are beautiful. True.
She's also pretty funny too. She has some good jokes.
Yeah, I didn't like the alcoholism. Actually, I was thinking.
No, you didn't. I like that. I dug it.
Well, she dropped the beer bottle like and it broke, and you heard the Foley artist had made a glass breaking insert. And I was thinking like, oh my god, there's so many 5-year-olds watching this show. Like they're gonna think it's cool to like litter and pretend to be drunk and shit.
And to be drunk alcoholics. Yeah, I guess they also think it's kind of so it might be a little tasteless, but it's fun.
It's tasteless fun, just like you want.
Yeah. It's a little bit of tasteless
fun. Hey, I'm Stan Lee. I love alcohol.
Look at this beautiful Valkyrie who abuses her substances.
I'd like to abuse your substance.
Oh my, Stan Lee.
Yeah, she's a pretty she's like the nihilist character that's gonna turn it all around in the end. Mm-hmm. Very atypical. Or is it
something I found interesting was that she was in on this secret. She knew the whole thing that Odin had covered up, essentially, about how he was kind of a shitty king before, and he would just go and conquer.
I think that's why she didn't want to go back. Was like that's Thor's. Should we? Let's skip to tell the people. Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm gonna have to do so much editing. I feel like
Rick Sanchez over here.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I just flurbed.
Oh, Morty.
I mean, full disclosure, I am like somehow hungover today. I feel like shit. I went out and had like 4 pints last night, and I've just fucking like I must have slept directly on my face and got brain damage or something. I feel like shit.
4 pints and a hangover. That sucks.
Yeah, dude. I don't know how that works. Maybe I got the flu or something. But anyway,
Maybe you got syphilis. You were talking about it earlier.
I love talking about syphilis. It's my favorite disease to talk about. Tell about the change. So like the Thor legend from, let's say, the comics and the one that they did for this book. Just break that down for people so I don't have to fucking talk anymore. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, what am I breaking down?
The firstborn daughter, etc., that nobody knows about.
Oh, Hela?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well,
like
it turns out that Thor was not Odin's firstborn, and she has an older sister named Hela. And Hela and Odin used to run around conquering shit like bloodthirsty Vikings, which is pretty fitting for Norse mythology. It's nice to know that Odin had that, I'm a Viking and I'm just going to fucking kill and take because that's what Vikings do. Mm-hmm. And I guess Hela was more hardcore, more bloodthirsty than Odin. And she wanted to take it further and be even worse and more violent and more terrible. And Odin kind of had a change of heart, and he flips it around and says, you know, I want to be a good king now. So she tried to, I guess, kill him and take Asgard for herself. So she was locked away by her father. And they basically pretended like that history never happened. And
then he had
Odin is on his high horse going, oh, yes, I'm a very fair and noble king, and I never have done wrong, and you're my firstborn, Thor. No, just kidding. You have an older sister. She's a crazy bitch, and we used to kill a lot of people for fun and take their shit.
Your armor is made out of baby skulls.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the Valkyrie has to go. It was part of the team that was going to go lock Hela up.
Off a bitch.
Yeah, and we've actually seen by this point in time, Hela fucks up like 500 people at once in a street brawl in Asgard, like for fun. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
she probably could have killed them all in
not
one
fucking
go.
around.
Like, she was fucking around, letting him hit her and shit. She gets stabbed like 3 times through the guts in this movie and just takes no, she doesn't give a shit. Do you see that?
Oh, yeah, she's hard as
she's
fuck.
like invulnerable or whatever. Like, it goes straight through, and then the knife gets pulled out, and she's just not bleeding or anything. It's fucking nutty.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Valkyrie had to go in with all the other Valkyries and try to take her down.
I love the shot, the huge shot of the Valkyries coming through the clouds and all the golden light descending down upon Hela. It's like this epic sort of biblical style.
Yeah, and they're riding Pegasus.
So badass.
So like, it's a futuristic society, but they're not riding like their space ships or anything. They're riding legit like Pegasus. Yeah, and then the shots of the horses falling out of the sky is just like, Jesus Christ.
And so, of course, Hela slaughters all of the Valkyrie, and except for one, she gets away and somehow ends up on this junk planet selling people for cash. And she drinks to forget her pain from her past.
I drink to party.
I drink to get riggedy wrecked, son.
Get swifty.
Take off your pants. Shit on the floor.
Okay. All right, Darren. It's not the Rick and Morty sing along.
Get swifty. Oh my God, that's a genius idea for children. Rick and Morty sing along.
Yeah, that's not gonna fuck up kids. So where are we? Like, Thor's got to escape to get back to his homeworld to stop Hela, because Hela's fucking shit up in Asgard. He tries to recruit the Hulk, and Hulk's like, nah, dude, I'm gonna stay here. Like, I'm the toughest guy ever, and I need to fight stuff. And the Valkyrie, is also like, nah, screw you. Like, I'm an alcoholic, and my Pegasus died. I'm not going back there. And Loki's like, nah, dude, like, I'm a hologram right now. You're throwing rocks through me. It just doesn't care.
Did you think I would actually come here? It's disgusting.
And then
there's trash everywhere.
And then finally, they get them all to get on board. So we're setting up for the big fight. The Ragnarok. The Ragnarok that Thor stopped earlier in the movie is actually still happening.
Cue silence.
Yeah,
But Ragnarok's coming back in a big way. Spoiler alert.
yeah. I feel like just carry it, Darren. Just take it away. I can't do this.
I'm taking it away. I can't do this right now. I had 4 pints last night, man. So Thor escapes out of Hulk's window like a 16-year-old girl on the run. And he meets up with Loki, and Loki's kind of aiding in his escape. And they have this little brotherly scene in the elevator where Thor's kind of breaks it down. You know, we should just go our separate ways. You're always going to be the god of mischief, and you know that's kind of shitty because you could be so much more, but that's who you are, and this is who I am, and you know, maybe we should just accept it for what it is.
Dude, I know what's going on. I ate an edible like an hour and a half ago.
Oh, and you forgot. So you're not hungover, you're just high. you just ate a pod cookie. Or a pod brownie. Oh my god. That reminds me of a great joke that like a Vancouver comedian was talking about edibles. She said the fun thing about edibles is you eat one and it doesn't kick in for a while, so you eat another one and then the ambulance comes.
It's so true. I hate that. Like when you smoke a joint and you eat an edible, and then like an hour and a half later, you're like, "Oh my god,
I'm too high." I've never gotten high off of edibles. I smoked pot for 11 years, like chronically every day for 11 years, and I never, ever got stoned, like really stoned from eating edibles.
I don't have like a uniform dissolve time for them, so like sometimes it'll start after like 40 minutes, sometimes it'll start after like an hour. Like I just ate 3 pounds of lasagna, so. I don't know.
So you ate a pot cookie and then 3 pounds of lasagna, and you think the 4 pints of beer that you drank yesterday are making you feel shitty right now? Maybe it's the 3 pounds of cheese and tomato sauce sitting in your stomach that is making you feel shitty right now.
So anyway, he was like looking for the sword. Yeah,
for the Bifrost.
Heimdall has
called?
it.
They're faster than light.
She's like,
travel.
She's like, I gotta go fuck up like more than 9 realms. Like I gotta go fuck up every realm.
Yeah, 9 realms. She's. You know what? This is kind of reminding me of Wallace. It's like 9 offward colonies.
Oh yeah.
We need
parallel there.
I think it might even be the same. I think it might be the same number. Might
also
be
like Donald Trump, xenophobic.
He's hugely xenophobic. Huge. China.
Have you seen that Alec Baldwin thing where he's like, I'd like to apologize. I'd like to apologize for my actions. Like, sir, are you trying to say apologize? I'd never do that. I'd never do that.
Apologize. I gotta see this. Holy shit. Oh, I gotta see this.
So, God, this is getting worse by the minute, boys.
It's so good. It's good. It's fine. We're good.
We're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to do a part 2.
Part 2 is as long as we release part 1, I'm down. Because
give me 4 hours, right 3 hours, and then we'll do it again.
It's 4 hours with Thor Ragnarok. So Hela's looking for the sword to the Bifrost, which was taken by its original operator, and I can't remember his name. We'll just call him Idris Elba.
Heimdall.
Because that's who plays him. And this Bifrost thing is quite the piece of transit technology. I think Elon Musk needs to get on this. Start doing some fucking research. We need one of
Darren,
these.
stop doing your little bits. It's like, and the movie has crawled forward 5 seconds. And let's talk about something else. we gotta keep up with the plot, Darren.
I'm on like 4.5 hours sleep here. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's fine. Maybe I'm just jealous.
So this guy Idris Elba has all of the civilians of Asgard holed up in this old building trying to protect them.
Of like 400. According to how many people Heimdall's saving.
It's pretty small. Like if you look at it, it's just this little disc It's just this little floating disc. I think this is where the flat worlders get their theory.
You know
from.
what's weird is Darren, stop going into pop culture over and over again. You fucking little current events section every 20 seconds. Fuck.
I'm sorry, but that's I can't help thinking about it.
Try to put Brett Ratner the allegations in here. But what I'm trying to say is the population of Asgard, that's like 400 people, also has a bunch of like Black and Asian people. Apparently, they've somehow like genetically diversified as much as humans up on this like little disc.
On this
like
little tiny disc. That's hilarious. Nice Darwinism bit.
Thank you.
That's a good point. I never thought of that.
Brett Ratner.
I never thought of No, I'm not doing a Brett Ratner, okay? Maybe I'll do a Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein?
Or Weinstein. I don't know how to say Weinstein or Weinstein. Or maybe
it's probably actually not very funny. And I'm just
except that paw cookies cooking.
We're completely derailed. Did we even mention there's like a fucking 90-foot tall dog in this movie? We didn't even mention the rock guy.
When did this become Game of Thrones? They got direwolves up in this.
No, we legit made a big deal.
Fenris. He's Fenris wolf.
We made a big deal about the rock guy that's from New Zealand. Haven't even fucking talked about him yet.
No, we mentioned Korg,
okay,
but not as much as we should have, because he's really I think he's my favorite part of the whole film.
Thor is just lost an eye in this fight scene. We're so far behind.
Oh, I love the son becomes his father.
Yeah,
with the dead eye.
Also, like I didn't know what the fuck was like. He has no eye for the rest of the fucking movies. I guess like he's done.
Yeah, he's just gonna be rocking the eye patch.
I hope when he goes Super Thunderlord on it though, like he flicks it up and like he's got a lightning eye. That'd be cool.
It's still the blue light is still emanating from his skull.
Exactly. We just got to the second part where it does the
Yeah, the immigrant song kicks back in.
So Hela was just dominating him. She stabbed him like 5 times and like cut out his eye. She's like, "You suck."
Yeah, and she's just playing with him too. She's making him watch out.
Yeah.
The palace and like, watch Asgard burn, motherfucker.
Yeah, classic villain thing. And then Thor has probably the coolest Thor fight scene of any movie. Maybe the coolest fight scene in like many Marvel movies. He talks to Odin in his dead sleep, and then he explodes with a giant thunderbolt, and kind of drops to the ground and gets up, and then all of a sudden he's sparking arcs of electricity 30 feet around him, and he just starts like force punching people with lightning all across the bridge, the Asgard bridge they're fighting on.
I think this is the moment that the immigrant song kicks in. Is when he's slow-mo lightning
like dropping
on
down.
the bridge.
There's an army of undead crawling on top of each other to like reach up to him. It's like a painting to David and Man and God. You know, the one where they touch fingers. It's like a motif kind of like that. And he's descending toward them in slow motion with the immigrant song playing, and they're like all reaching up, and then he just fucks them all up. Really badass. Yeah, like, I'm not a tough guy by any stretch of the imagination, but watching a movie like this, you just feel like kind of sense of adrenaline. Like, holy fuck, that would be so badass. Like, imagine if I did that. Like,
imagine if I was Thor.
You'd have a good voice for it, Darren.
Would I? But I don't have the Hemsworth musculature.
It's not quite deep enough. I didn't like the bald guy in this movie.
Scourge?
Yeah, Scourge was a douchebag. Even though he like kind of came back at the end, I was like, "Fuck you." Scourge.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we kind of established right off the bat that he's kind of a dirtbag because he's using his extremely important job on Asgard as a means to get laid. Like, look at how important and awesome I am. Look at all my stuff. Look at my M16 machine guns, baby.
I think we'd all do that, but it's the fact that he's also incompetent. So not only is he a dickhead, but he's not even good at his job.
Yeah, exactly. And then he immediately yields to Hela and becomes her little bitch lackey. But I think he managed to just barely manage to redeem himself, because he ultimately sacrifices himself to save the whole thing from going to shit.
Yeah. Except I'm sure somebody would have. Whatever. Fuck that guy. And then we get this cool scene. So Thor has decided to start Ragnarok because Hela gets her power from Asgard.
From Asgard.
Ragnarok's the destruction of Asgard. So he's like, oh, well, if there's no Ragnarok, or if there's no Asgard, then Hela's going to be a little wimp. And that pits, the final fight isn't even between Thor or the Hulk or any of those guys. They're literally in a spaceship watching out the window as the Norse version of Satan, like a giant flaming devil guy with horns, fights Hela, who's just like a regular sized person but just can't die. And then they fucking have a 2-second showdown, and he just stabs her into oblivion, and the whole planet explodes. End of the movie. Yeah,
he's pretty hardcore. He's definitely getting his rocks off on destroying Asgard, and it's kind of funny because he's like, Asgard, I'm destroying you. It's like, yeah, we know. That's why
it's empty. The whole fucking city's empty. He's like, tremble.
the place is empty. Yeah. You're doing exactly what we want you to do.
You're getting played hard.
You're helping us. We want you to do this.
And I liked that.
I love how Hulk almost kills him. They're like, no, God damn it, Hulk.
Starts punching on the giant crown that kills him if it falls off.
Hulk monster. But it's a monster.
I can't think.
When we get my favorite joke, I think, of the whole movie, when Korg is watching Asgard get destroyed.
Oh, he's dead.
He talks about the Foundation. Oh, yeah, the Meek joke.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Meek's dead. I stepped on him earlier by accident. I've just been getting around all day because I feel so guilty. And then he starts moving. Oh, Meek's alive, guys. He's still alive. Yay.
I guess that's the whole movie, guys. We kind of fucked this one up. The one thing that I found hard was not only the drugs, but it's hard to critique a film that you enjoyed at about a 10 out of 10 level. There's parts that were kind of dumb. There's parts that were a little unnecessary, but at the same time, I didn't give a fuck because I was on the best roller coaster of a Marvel movie ever. So I would just say 10 out of 10. Not a perfect movie, but for what it is, it's fucking amazing. It's perfect for what Marvel's trying to do.
Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said earlier, I wanted to go see Killing of a Sacred Deer, and you were saying, no, let's go to Thor. And so I caved. I was like, let's just go to see both. We'll go see Thor first. And it's hilarious. Mm-hmm. I was laughing my ass off the entire thing. The whole devil's anus joke was great. Yep. The humor was just really solid. It wasn't cheesy, shitty, standard action movie humor. Yep. It was humor done by somebody who understands comedy and knows how to pull it off in a really special way. And he totally took that sense of humor that you see in Flight of the Conchords and in What We Do in the Shadows. I haven't seen the what is it? The Wilder People?
Yeah, The Hunt for the
Lives of the Wilder People. Hunt for the Wilder People. Is that a comedy?
Yeah, very much so, like an adventure comedy.
Okay, I definitely have to see that too, because if it's anything like What We Do in the Shadows.
Sam Neill's in it.
Yeah, you were saying that's great, which is probably the reason why we got his cameo in this.
Yeah, he has a bunch of people from that movie in this movie.
I think that'll probably be the next movie I watch, Hunt for the Wilder People. Because
we could do it. We could do a show on
Let's do it. And I guess we're not going to be able to do Killing of a Sacred Deer anytime soon because it's not playing in our garbage town.
No, it's not. Fuck you.
It's not fucking. It's only playing in 13 cities across the country.
I mean, I get it though, Darren. Like the guys,
I don't get it. It's like
The Lobster
it's a horror
is hugely
film.
Polarizing. A lot of people thought it was the worst.
This movie isn't The Lobster though. It's a bit more of a traditional film. Yeah, it's the same director, but the story is a lot more traditional.
Hey, you know what? If you want to start a podcast called Darren's Shitty Opinions, then go ahead.
I thought I already did. what we're doing.
This fucking movie podcast, all right, Darren? Not everything's about your goddamn artsy fartsy goddamn.
It doesn't look. It just looks like a really dark psychological thriller. It doesn't look anywhere near as
Stop
artsy
grinding
fartsy.
your axe on our show. Stop grinding your personal.
I'm not grinding my axe. I'm just saying that it is more of a much more mainstream appeal than The Lobster.
You don't know
you
that.
Gotta admit that.
You don't know that. You haven't seen the
just
movie.
Based, the fucking movie's called The Lobster. That's it, and it means it's in the literal sense.
You finished?
Yes.
Are you gonna add this movie to your DVD collection?
I think I actually am going to have to buy this.
I'm proud of
when
you.
It comes out. I'll probably pick up the Steelbook because it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This might be one. You know what, guys? I like to steal everything. I like to steal movies on the internet. This is not binding in a court of law, but I like to steal movies on the internet. And I rarely pay for anything, but I would buy this one just because I think that I want to support monetarily this kind of work, which sounds so stupid, but it's true.
Well, I mean, if it's valid though. I mean, obviously your $25 isn't gonna go very far, but I think in principle it works.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's let the people go eat their edible cookies, guys. Go. I don't know.
Ding ding clan clash.
I don't even have a fucking outro thing for this. Just see you next week, guys.